Chupacabra, chupacabra, and a chupacabra. Yeah, that's a longer intro than I'm usually used to, but fuck it. Welcome, greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Citadel NewChurch. I'm your host, Captain, here to go over our latest recap with the International Clan War League with the Immortal 50. This war was no dip, although bat spells were included. Yeah, they kind of ran rampant in this war for us, which we got the perfect, which reminds me, we did have a mismatch going in before the war started. Thankfully, the Immortal 50 was more than willing to oblige the mistake, so we left one at the base on either side to be left alone. We had a Town Hall 9 that was to be left alone. They had a Town Hall 10. So, again, good war for these guys. It was a great war for us as a Citadel. Motherfucking die pad, I'm going to throw you out the window. Now, we're going to jump into our six-packers. This is probably going to be a catch-22, but Indominus Rex, I'm going to throw it at him because he can only have one hit with the breakdown that we have, so he gets it. So, if you disagree, there's a PP down the road. I suggest you suck it. With following that, we have LB there at number 2. We have Maydu at number 4. Again, since the other two are hit, he's kind of boned for the people that he would be allowed. I'm giving it to him. If you disagree, again, there's the PP. I'm sure more than one person can suck it at the same time. If you're going to argue over it, just wait for the second batch to load and go shaboopy in your mouth. Following that, we are going to have the Jedi Mind Tricks there at number... Ooh, that's not the right one I was supposed to be reading. Eliza there at number 5. Yeesh. Right list. Okay. And then we got Vishwa there at number 13. And then we scroll to the bottom for number 21 with Gekas. We're going to have NewChurch at 24 and Rhiannon and there at number 25. We're going to jump into the hits. Woo! With number 1 with the Indominus Rex. Woo! Again, this was one of those, he only had one shot because there was no dip. So... thankfully, he got this. Woot woot. Dropping in the blimp because he doesn't give a flying flips if it pops a little bit early because these loons hasted are going to take out that entire compartment. Back on loon, helping ensure the archer tower drops. The air sweeper is going to slightly hinder these loons going forward, but the wizard tower still dropped. So he's going to drop his AQ there at 1 o'clock with the healers in behind. 2 babies and a dragon. I'm not exactly sure how that CC is going to rock in this situation because he's just going to AQ pop the one first baby, second baby, and then the dragon. Nothing really threatened the queen. Has the one baby there from 11 o'clock, getting the nice little clean. Drops the second one to take out the cannon to ensure that she's going to go down that alley by the archer tower and not try to reroute towards the cannon there at 11 because, let's face it, she is a douche. She likes the douche. So she's finally going to make her way into this alley. One of the healers soaks a Sam. Sucks to be that bitch. Wizards are taking their time funneling a bunch of that trash buildings on the outside along with the minion. Tornado trap is activated, but absolutely nothing is affected because the queen can still reach the town hall. Again, not the ideal placement, I would say, but again, that's just me being nitpicky in hindsight. AQ is going to keep marching down this alley. There's no way for her to get to this eagle at the moment. So as he starts his Lalo over here by the 10 o'clock region, these loons are going to jump right into these hastes, into the Inferno Tower. And then he's going to drop a couple more there by 8 o'clock coming in. The single, actually, luckily, does not target the Hound, so he is taking a little pounding. It takes the Sam over there by the air defense as well. Pops the tome to make sure these loons are going to take out these wizard towers. AQ is still up, and because of that AQ, she rerouted, our archer queen goes over to this eagle, takes that out, but with these loons in the heal and the haste, they're going to go directly to this air defense, and then clean up. He already has the pups and the minions over there by 8 o'clock, still doing their job, so kudos to him. AQ is finally going to drop, but unfortunately just lives on a little sliver of health. These archers say, fuck you, bitch, and take her out, and then from here on out, woot woot. So well done to the Indominus Rex with his, air quotes, 6-pack, because that's the only thing he could ever get. Next, we're going to go with LB on number 2, and imagine this, we're going to have some ground love, because Supercell knows how to make a game. Drops his BK and his heroes over there by 10 o'clock. Their sole purpose, get a bunch of those defenses before they bite the dust and start singing some Queen songs because people love that right now. Pops the ability so that way that BK drops. bunch of the barbs are going to soak up that nice Inferno Tower. The BK is going to stay on the outside. Wizard Tower's trying to do its little thing to take out that PK. He doesn't give a flying shenanigans as he drops his dragons in to slowly but surely start making their way from the 6 to 9 flank. Loons in behind, Slammer coming in. Archer Queen is going to bite the dust but takes out the Archer Tower right in the nick of time. Doesn't quite nab the Eagle with that freeze, but hey, it is what it is. Baby is triggered, pops the tome so that way these dragons and loons are going to survive that baby. A bunch of loons are dropping on top of that Eagle. The air sweeper is going to push them off to help get a second drop because of their timing that they have. Archer Queen is trying to do her business there with a bunch of those loons, but because of that, the bat spell on the backhand side is completely free to take out those air defenses. So at this point, there's absolutely nothing left to take out the rest of this air attack because, again, Supercell is the greatest at knowing how to make a game, and ground is getting some love. Speed this up because a bunch of these loons are just going to slowly tank for these 2 dragons going into this Wizard Tower. Okay, they bite the dust, never mind. Anyways, these 4 dragons are going to slowly but surely make their way to that Wizard Tower and then take it out and then finish the cleanup. So well done to Albert. For our next attack, hey, it's Albert again. And once you know it, more ground troops. He's going to be doing somewhat of the same thing. Sui heroes and then dropping dragons on a flank. Has dragon up there at 12 o'clock. Establishing the funnel with an easy one for the army camp and slowly making his way to the area that he wants to drop the dragons. Drops 2 loons to nab that Wizard Tower. The Inferno doesn't mean anything to him because with their death, they will ensure its drop. BK is really getting some nice value from that funnel. Almost getting that Archer Tower. No, I'm a dirty liar. Anyways, he's going to drop a bunch of those dragons. Slammer loons going to be behind. Raging those dragons, so that way they're going to go right to that Inferno Tower next. Because of that nicely tome, they're going to go right into this Eagle in the rage, take it out. Although he does get his 3 shots off in the nick of time. Sucks to be us. And then he's going to do his bat spell there and the 7 o'clock region. And then look at that. All of those defenses are down. The AQ means absolutely nothing to us at this point. Still has a freeze in the bag. All these bats are still going rampant in this base, to the point where they are going to be the cleanup for this attack. Dragons are finally retargeting to the queen because she was trying to snipe those bats. And then, slowly but surely, the Slammer is just going to be doing his little dear old thing. I do believe he had loons in there. That's the reason why he didn't bother popping it, because it's technically faster and stronger for what it's doing right now. Yep, just pure loons. So well done to Albert ×2. And for our next one, we got Meidu. And again, ground troops are getting the love. Sui heroes over there by 10:30. They're going to just basically establish this funnel. He doesn't give a flying flips after this. They're probably going to be coming in from the 7:30 range if I had to take a guess with the angles of these air sweepers. Pops the ability. BK is beating a bunch of those storages. The BK unfortunately targets our queen, but she doesn't give a flying flips. Takes him out. Drops the dragon for the funnel. Dragon for the funnel. Dragon for the funnel. And then a whole bunch of shaboops is going to be happening there at 7:30. Like, woo! Sweet, good to go. Couldn't quite remember. There's a whole bunch of bases that I had to remember for these attacks, and this was apparently one of the ones I forgot. Sorry, Meidu. I still love you. Long time. But until then, he's going to drop a bunch of the dragons at the 7:30 flank. Loons in behind. Slammer behind. Grand Warden behind. Dragons are unfortunately starting to soak up that Inferno Tower. Rages a bunch of these loons and dragons in towards the Archer Queen. Dragon Baby is in the CC. They trigger, coming towards our nice trio troops. Loons are dropping left and right. He's holding the tome because he wants to try to get him more closer to the Eagle before he hits it, and then he nabs it. The dragons are the bat spell is triggered over there by the 4 o'clock region. And again, there's so many bats floating around to the point where they're going to be the cleanup of this attack. They are somewhat clustering then, and then the Wizard Tower drops like a bad habit, and then clean up from here on out. So well done to the Meidu. Yeah, that spell definitely still needs a nerf. This is just ridiculous. And then from there, we got Michelle with number 5. Again, it's going to be another drag bat attack. Although this one he starts with an AQ, doing the COE over there by 8 o'clock. BK there by 1. Only purpose is to help establish the funnel, going towards the 1030 flank, going through the core. Since there's no eagle, he just doesn't give a flying fuck about what he has to do. Dropping the dragons, establishing the funnel. As soon as the dragons are about to march closer into these defenses, that's when he drops the loons, the slammer, in behind. Slammer unfortunately soaks up a Sam, but he doesn't give a shenanigans. The air sweeper is going to help prolong it. So that way, the loon's going to tank for it instead. Freezes the Inferno and the air sweeper, which was really nice. To the point where these loons are just going to keep collapsing. He does get the CC triggered from the BK, still somewhat surviving. So the Valk is going to try to come over and take out these archers down there by 7:30. Anyways, the dragons are going to now retarget to his enemy Archer Queen, taking it out. The bat spell was dropped on the backhand side, just basically eliminating the rest of this stuff. And then from here on out, swag freeze with cleanup. So well done to the Mishish. Our next one is going to be Vishwa at number 6. Again, Dragbat. Imagine that. Wait, no! He's going to have a Laloon for this one. Woo-woo! Don't remember what angle that he comes in with this attack, but clearly he had more than enough time to do it. That's right. He's going to drop the giant, and as soon as that wizard tower is going to target the giant, drops a whole bunch of these bats, and then shaboop, takes it out. These Archer Queen is trying to snipe the bats, but he just doesn't give a flying flips. The air defenses are going to drop. Freezes the Inferno to help speed them up. Tries to get that Inferno tower, but I don't think they quite get it. No, they don't. But anyways, that entire region is dropped. The loon here is only dropped for the Sam that it's about to absorb. Look at that. So now the baby is going to be dropped, helping establish the funnel for this queen. So she's going to march directly into this air defense. It's going to wall break her into that compartment. A nicely placed king with the way that he's going to go from this Tesla completely avoids the mortar that's directly in front of him and come back to go inside of this base. Pops the ability because he knows he wants this queen to just basically die in life. Doesn't want that hound to pop. But anyways, he's going to start his Lalo coming from 10 o'clock going clockwise. The loon is going to kill the queen right when that hound is about to basically pop. The slammer is unfortunately targeting the Inferno Tower is unfortunately targeting the slammer. And the air sweeper is pushing the Electro Dragon towards the gold storage. So as soon as that drops, it is unfortunately going to go to the Hound and Loon to pop him. But he's more than dandy to help get that or get those pops eliminated because of his Electro chain that actually nabs a bunch of those pops. Anyways, he's going to keep going with his Lalo. All of these defenses slowly but surely biting the dust. Loons are fighting an air sweeper, but he has so many on the backhand side that with the pups that are going to pop from that, he's good to go with cleanup. The baby dragon of the attack is still up and floating. Good for him. And again, well done to the Vishwa. Alright, for our next attack, we are going to have the real list that I was supposed to be reading, Jedi Mind Tricks, with number 11, Shaboopy. Mass Hogs. Going to drop the giant, tank for the queen. BK is basically establishing the funnel, so that way the queen is just going to go from the air defense down. BK is slowly but surely making his way in. Gets a slammer there for the AQ. Has the Valks in the CC. They're going to march directly into the queen. Take her out. And then they're going to eliminate that little compartment. Drawing the Hound CC. But I do believe he's going to drop his Hogs to help absorb that Hound. So that it's not going to go to the queen. So she can just keep doing her thing. Absorbing a bunch of those things. Yep. Hogs are dropped over there by the 730 range. Taking out a bunch of these defenses. Hound is, ironically enough, of all things, still chasing a Valk before he finally perishes. And then he does retarget to the Hogs. Drops a couple wizards on the backhand side for the general cleanup. Putting the nice heals in any places where the giant bomb skeletons would be. They are absorbing a bunch of this trash. That giant bomb placement was just enough on the outside of that heals that he had to place the second one. But again, he has so many Hogs still up and running that there's really no threat. Only thing at this point is mainly just springs. He still has a heal in the bag, almost basically swag at this point. And he's going to try to speed up these hogs so that way they go back in towards the center of this base and the wizards aren't going to try to pop that hound. Should speed this up because it's just general cleanup at this point. And yes, the hound does go back into the center so he can't pop and kill the hog. So well done to the Jedi Matrix. The next one we're going to have Elisa at number 12. Woo! For this one we're going to have a nice Lalalo. Just going to drop a Skelly spell, freeze the bottom tower and the Expo, so that way it's going to be able to drop the CC, the AQ, and the air sweepers. Drops a baby to help establish the funnel. BK coming in from the 1030 range, AQ behind. All she needs to do is take out the Wizard Tower, Archer Tower, and then she's going to keep following behind the BK. Trying to sit on the abilities for as long as he can. Finally has to pop it. Knowing that at this point the AQ is going to finally establish following behind. Taking out these few skeletons that do trigger and march over to the archers. And then she's going to bite the dust before she takes out that bomb tower. But at this point he just doesn't really care. Dropping his Lalo from 1 o'clock, going clockwise. Hasting the loons to go from the air defense Teslas into the single Inferno. Slimer in behind to take out this Wizard Tower, Archer Tower, central compartment. The loons are going to drop that single Inferno, going from the bomb tower and then the Expo with free time to kill with that. Doesn't need the haste. Sits on the 2, waiting for the loons to slowly but surely pick up steam. The ones that are with the Slammer are slowly taking their time, marching in towards this last Inferno Tower, dropping loons to get that backhand air defense there, and then finally they're all going to collapse on top of this Inferno Tower. It does lock onto our Slammer, so although he's going to start losing some health, it is going to drop before he does retarget to these Archer Tower, Wizard Towers, but at this point he has so many loons, pups for general cleanup. It is that. Well done to him. Pops it just to speed things up, but he did have a Hound Loon in there just in case the Slammer was to get absorbed. So well done to them. We have Gekas at number 17. Woo! Gonna do a bunch of 9s for this war because fuck it, I feel like doing them. Dropping his AQ over there at 7 o'clock with our healers behind. Baby to help establish the funnel. Loons to absorb any SAMs that may be popping. Getting the minions there at 6 o'clock to take out the army camp to ensure that everything is going to keep going the way that he wants. Loons are going to be doing their nice little thing and die on top of that cannon to get the nice CC pull and a little damage on the cannon to speed that up. The baby does the right thing and actually goes to the army camp. Unfortunately, the minion is directly beside it, so he's unfortunately going to die before he can get into his little rage thing. Dragon's going to be handled with this poison rage. AQ is not going to target his enemy Archer Queen. Does absorb a Sam with a healer. Sucks to be him. Has a couple wizards over there by the 10 o'clock region to establish the funnel. So that way, when these Valks are going to go to those gold mines, they're going to go into that wall compartment and go into the enemy Archer Queen themselves. Not exactly sure what that wall placement was any better for, but hey, fuck it, Valks are Valks. Anyways, they're going to slightly try to keep beating on outside walls to let these troops try to march on the outside. BK is going to go to the air sweeper before he does the right thing, comes back to the enemy Archer Queen, getting into the core of this base with the healers in behind, with the 2 spells left to go. Drops the heal to ensure that the Valks are going to get another wall break. Bowlers take out the Wizard Tower in one go. He is sitting on the hogs, waiting for the backhand side over there by the Barbarian King. The King is tanking with the ability. AQ is taking out a couple extra defenses for the lulls. The bowlers are being nicely healed. Valks are going to get another wall break. Nope, BK gets another one over there. Take out those 2 defenses, and then they're going to try to get into the outside yet again. Archer Queen is still slowly but surely sniping some buildings. Speed this up. Woo! To the point where the heroes on the outside with their abilities, it is basically GG. Does instead... hiccup. Does decide to do a rage for the hogs over there on the 11 o'clock range to get out a couple of those extra buildings. And then well done, 2 geckos. For our next attack, we are going to have Rihanna for number 18. Woo woo! This is going to be a nice little alo. This was a base that was actually the bane of our existence. We kept hitting it and kept getting everything but the 3-star. Rihanna as the one that actually got the nail on the head, so well done to them. Gets the early CC pull with a cheap minion. Slowly again with another minion, bringing the witch and the baby over, so that way when he does drop the BK, the skeletons are going to be slightly behind, enough to be somewhat decent, if I could phrase it that way. BK is unfortunately going to take a walk, while the AQ is going to be the one that targets all these defenses. The witch does die in the poison before it could really target the queen, so she's going to get a couple of defenses for free. The BK is establishing the funnel for the baby, so that way it's going to keep taking out a bunch of these defenses. AQ is going to march back counterclockwise to take out that wizard tower with the ability. Queen steps up to get to the cannon. Unfortunately, doesn't go back to the air defense, but it doesn't really matter at this point. And then he's going to start his Lalo from 730 to 6, pushing in through the core of this base. He drops a couple loons, and then the skeleton rage to take out the AQ. Loons are going to collapse into the central compartment for the Expo Air Defense Wizard Tower. They're going to leave the 2 Archer Towers there at 10:30 alone. Nobody goes over. Oh, 2 loons go over there. I think they get 1, but they don't get the second. Yeah, the second Archer Tower gets the other one. Okay. Anyways, with this nice heal haste, the loons are going to be just basically moshing the hell out of this pit. Wizard Tower isn't doing much of shenanigans because these loons are going to start compacting onto this hidden Tesla farm that he has slightly there towards the 11 o'clock range. A bunch of those pups are going to congregate together to take out that BK pretty nicely. Still has a haste in the bag. And with the general cleanup, well done to Rihanna. For our next attack, we have mine with number 21. With mine, I'm going to drop the baby over there at the 430 range to help try to get that Dark Elixir storage before this air defense takes it out. Unfortunately, with the angle that this baby does take, it is enough for that air defense to hit it. Looking at that tile placement, you seriously go suck a dick. That I don't believe this game is believing what I really should be doing. Anyways, I got a couple wizards to do a funnel with the nice golem drop. Archer Tower was just enough to catch the range. So all of those all these buildings are going down. So when I do decide to drop the heroes at this compartment, they're going to slowly but surely make their way in. I should have waited on this jump a little bit more because you'll see why in a second. Whew. Golem is going to finally burst. The Velk actually takes out a couple of the wizards, which really sucked. But hey, it is what it is. AQ is going to take down that baby before the king gets to half health. And then he's going to pop his ability as soon as he jumps this wall. At this point, the BK is finally going to target, and at this point, the barbs are going to be soaking up a bunch of that Wizard Tower damage, which really sucked for me. But as soon as that Expo drops, my AQ starts shooting the enemy Barbarian King, and that's when the jump expires, and this is why I should have waited maybe 3 more seconds, because if she had jumped the wall, could have popped the ability and got a little bit more out of this value, but hey, fuck it, I can't care. So she's going to take out the wall, take out the sweeper before she bites the dust, starting my Lalo over there at the 130 range, couple loons in behind. A couple more hounds and loons in behind from the 11 o'clock range. Hasting them into that wizard tower. Raging right in behind. A little early on that because the bomb tower is going to keep pecking these things off. The loons were slowly taking the time, so I had to drop the haste to ensure that that bomb tower would drop. And then finally gets the job done. And with the few skeletons that I did have, take out the Archer Queen finally. The Hound is tanking for these loons, coming in towards the back-end wizard towers. I do have a skeleton trap that was triggered onto my loons, but I just don't care at this point because I have so many hastes. With a couple minions for cleanup. Still have 3 loons in the bag as well. This Archer Tower is going to pop my Hound, and then general cleanup at this point. And yes, I won't lie, I did forget I had the loons when I was doing the attack, and that's why they were dropped at the very end to help speed up with the cleanup, because it was almost a time fail. For our next one, we're going to have green with number 22. Again, just basically another Lalo attack. This is much better than doing Witch Slap because it's basically for witches or for bitches. Dropping a minion to get the CC pull. And then if you notice right here, there's a nice little sliver open for the hidden Tesla compartment for the two that are going to pop right there. So he's just going to basically drop the BK, trigger the giant bomb, trigger the Teslas. Archer Queen right in behind. Doesn't give a flying fuck about what's about to happen to that baby because he did. BK was simply the tank. AQ is right there at a couple of those defenses that he wants. Pops the ability to ensure that the air defense is going to drop. Gets the mortar with her last dying breath. And then finally she's going to bite the dust. The BK does survive to clean up the trash that's out there. He's going to start his Lalo coming from 130. Going clockwise. Queen is going to be slightly taking a walk following this hound. Loons are coming in behind, hasted in towards these wizard towers. As soon as the one hound pops, the second one is directly on top of the AQ. So she, again, is not going to be targeting any of these loons. Drops the skeleton spell a little bit early, but hey, these loons are collapsing directly on top of that bomb tower. So now she's going to drop like a sack of shit. A whole bunch of loons dropping on all of these buildings at the same time. As soon as the next one is before them is dropping. So he basically has swag loon, swag heal, swag haste. Has pops all over the place, had the BK cleaning up earlier, and the minions all over the place. So again, swag all abound. Well done to the green. For our next one, we got Mubin with number 24. For this one, he's going to be doing a loon drop to take out this mortar to help establish this little funnel that he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the mortar drop. So he says, fuck it, I'm going to just drop the Electro Dragon here. As soon as this Dark Barracks drops, the Electro is going to come into this range. Drops the loon to pull the E-Drag to get to the Archer Queen, so that way it can do the one shot on her. One, he decides to finally shoot. Air Sweeper pushes him out to the outside to get away from that Archer Tower right there. Woo! So that way, all of these buildings there are going to drop too. Before he finally bites the dust. Has his heroes over there by the 11 o'clock range to get a bunch of these trash buildings. Wizard to help establish the funnel. AQ is to hopefully to get into these hidden Teslas closer to the air defense if she will. Pops the BK ability, so that way he's going to take out these skeletons, mortar, and that way the queen will march in and get those buildings. Unfortunately, there's a third hidden Tesla that's going to be targeting her, but he doesn't care. She's going to be sniped in this BK, and then retransfer over to the Wizard Tower, dropping his hogs there from the 7 o'clock range, going counterclockwise to absorb this Hound CC that he had. He doesn't care. Swag poisons at this point. Dropping his hogs slowly but surely, surgically, marching around the circle of this base with 2 heals. Nothing is really threatening these hogs at this point. So he's just sitting on that hill waiting for this Wizard Tower over hither. He does trigger a giant bomb right there between the hidden Tesla and the double cannon, but doesn't give a flying flips. Does trigger 2 random springs, so we were actually really shitty placement. Drops the heal, so that way these hogs are nice, fresh, and toasty. More springs. That one was actually better. And then before they get to the cannon, it's general cleanup from here on out. Swags the poisons, obviously. And then shaboot. Well done to Mubin. And for our last one, we got number 25 with Mikey. Gonna do his AQ there at 1:30, baby at 1 o'clock to help establish the funnel, obviously. Trying to get her to go down this alley, which she actually does for once in her life. Baby is getting free buildings. AQ is slowly but surely taking her time before he decides to drop the rage. Gets the healers very nicely done. BK to get the funnel and also absorb that expo. So as soon as this gold storage drops, the AQ is going to lock onto his. 3 shots and she's dead. So basically one... Nope, she actually got out of the rage, so can't count. Anyways, BK is doing his job tanking for this expo. Until finally, when the AQ steps up, it is right there and she's good to go. Wizards are getting some free buildings over there as well following the BK. It is a Hound CC, so it is going to be sped up pretty shortly. Drops the wizard to help speed this up with a couple back-end minions. And then she's going to actually be going inside of this base. Drops the rage, so that way all of those trash is going to be dropped. And then he's going to start his Lalo from 1030 going counterclockwise. The loons onto the wizard tower, archer tower, so that way they're going to collapse inside of this heal. Just enough for those loons to avoid it. Gets a 3-finger drop from 730 to 8 to get into this backside. All these loons are going to collapse into this one haste and go directly into this Tesla farm that he has because it's poorly placed. With a nice rage, he's going to get some free drops, dropping the 2 Teslas at the same time. Does trigger red bombs, not some Sams to absorb for the hounds, so he's going to have some hound swag. To the point where he literally didn't have any pups on this attack. That's just how well he nuked it. So well done to Mikey. And with that, it wraps up our recap for this International Clan War attack. So well done to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't transpire for these Town Hall 10 attacks that they had. But again, wish you guys a happy holidays and have a good one.